And with that, we are on our way here on a little bit of a Wednesday night. Hope everybody is having themselves a really nice Wednesday. And we are live here just outside of Philadelphia. This is going to be a little bit of Rover Sports, the Callin show edition of the show. I'm going to be reading more of your comments. It's going to be a more interactive program. And of course, we have my friend Ronaldo who's coming into the show. We have a lot of people. What is up, Brandon? How are you, Brandon Rogers? This will be an interactive show. The one in studio last night, was just not exactly a interactive show because I wasn't really able to see the comments. So tonight hopefully will be more interactive, and we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. You guys can talk about your favorite NFL teams. You guys can talk about college basketball, about the pass interference rule change of yesterday, which was obviously a huge deal. This is going to be a deal now, this pass interference, where coaches are going to be able to challenge pass interference, and I'm sure that in the future they are going to be able to challenge any number of different calls. And I look at this rule, and I think that this rule is absolutely awful. I mean, sure, in the Saints game, they messed it up. You know, we can all agree that the Saints should have won that game, and sure enough, the Saints ended up, losing out that playoff game because of this call. But we have a caller on the line calling here nice and early. We got an hour call-in show, and you are on with Rover Sports. How are you tonight? Just turn down your background, please. Can you turn down your background? You're on the show, sir. Or ma'am, if it's a female caller, which I don't know why. I'm going to have to hang up. When you call in the show, please have the background down. Hello, you're on with Rover Sports. How are you?
Hello?
Yes, you are on with Rover.
Hello?
Yes, hello. Can you hear me? Oh, you know what? I am sorry. This is actually my fault. I need to actually fix my audio. That's why you can't hear me. You know why you can't hear me? Because we have a lot of different callers now. It's kind of becoming a nightmare. We are stuck in a nightmare, folks. I will answer this call. All right, sorry about that. You're on with Rover Sports. Can you hear me?
Hey, Rover.
Oh, boy, I'm dealing with some technical difficulties early in the show. How are you, sir?
Hey, man, I was just calling because I'm like a big Giants fan. And
let's do it. Let's talk some Giants football.
I wanted to see what was your take on us getting Josh Rosen.
Yeah, so the Entertainer probably made a video today about that. So what would we be giving up for Joshua Rosen? What would that be, sir? Would that be a second-round pick?
Well, I mean, I'm hearing, like, I saw a report today saying that we offered the Arizona Cardinals a second-round pick for Rosen, which I think is great because no way in hell would I give up one of our firsts for him.
So you're saying that we would be giving up 17 for Josh Rosen?
No. I'm saying me personally, I wouldn't even give up. I would not even touch our first round pick for Rosen at all. I'd rather give it, like, if we are going to trade for him, it would be like a second rounder. But even then,
I agree. I completely agree. Like maybe 37. And then we would draft our right tackle. And I look at Rosen, and I guess I'd be okay with it. You know, he is a talented player, and he would be in after Eli Manning. We would get him cheap for about 3 to 4 years. I would really consider that second round offer. I really think that I would do it because I look at Rosen. I think he actually has a better skill set than Locke. I like Locke more as a guy than Josh Rosen, but I think Josh Rosen could be pretty dang good. I do. And then, at number 6, we can get somebody good at number 6. Now, the problem is, and I didn't get your name, so can I get your name?
Yeah, Derek. I actually called in like a couple months ago. I don't know if you remember me.
Absolutely, I remember the voice. Is it Garrett?
Yeah.
Garrett?
Derek. Derek. Like Derek
Derek.
Jeter.
Derek. Oh yeah, like the greatest shortstop ever. I love that
Hey.
name, Derek. So,
Yeah.
so this is what I would. The problem is, Derek, is that if Devin White, if Williams, Bosa, and Allen all go before number 6, then what are you doing at number 6? Because that's the question I'm asking myself.
Yeah, I mean it's tough because I mean I really want Devin White. I mean I know before I said I wanted Dwayne Haskins, which I mean I wouldn't mind also, but I honestly want us to go defense, and if all of them are taken, I mean I'd rather for us. You said if Bosa and White and all of them were taken, who would I take at 6?
Yes, who would you take? I'm thinking Rashawn Gary, maybe, but I don't love it there.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. He just didn't have a good year, but I mean, hey, maybe he could blossom into a good pass rusher. But I like Montez Sweat or like a Brian Burns, but I feel like it'll be kind of too high for Brian Burns.
Yeah, I mean Montez Sweat is an absolute stud. I think he's a good guy. I mean, I watched him at Mississippi State, and that dude can play. Now the problem is he has an irregular heartbeat, so he literally has a problem, and you don't want to pick a guy that can be in danger of potentially, heart problems, cardiac, horrible things that, God forbid would happen to a guy. And Brian Burns, the reason why I don't think the Giants are going to select Burns is because we don't know anything about Burns. And when you go to Florida State was a terrible program. He was under Willie Taggart as a head coach. A lot of guys at Florida State, you don't know what type of personality you're bringing into your locker room if you go Florida State, because that team was absolutely terrible. And when you get a Rashawn Gary, you're getting a Jim Harbaugh, really smart kid. And Brian Burns, we just know nothing about Brian Burns as a character. And when you're investing the 6th overall pick in a Brian Burns who happens to be very fast, it just seems like a huge risk. Huge risk.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And
so I think, I want Devin White as well. We are stuck. We just need the Bucs. We need those damn Bucs to, maybe take an offensive lineman. We need them to take, a cornerback, like a DeAndre Baker to help their secondary. We are screwed if the Bucs take Devin White. We are absolutely screwed. And you know what, Derek? We might even have to trade back out of 6 if that happens.
And and you know what? Honestly, man, I would not even mind that because Dave Gettleman, he wants to get a prospect that he knows. He wants to get a prospect that he knows what he's getting out of. Like if that makes sense. Like with Saquon, he knew what he was getting if he took Saquon. So I feel like like you said, Brian Burns has his health issues and stuff. So I feel like but I would like DeAndre Baker because Jack Rabbit, he might this might be his last year. So he might leave, but.
And that's exactly right. Now at 17, the good news for us is that you got Byron Murphy, you got Mullins, you got all these good cornerbacks. And luckily at 17, we will be able to pick a blue chipper at the cornerback position at 17.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. So, I mean, honestly, like you said, I just really hope the Bucs go another position because you know what? Honestly, if I'm being real, I think the Bucs might actually go for Devin White because they did get rid of Quan Alexander and Bruce Arians. He in Arizona he had a really good defense, so maybe he might want to build his defense around Devin White, an explosive player like him.
That is absolutely right. And Todd Bowles down in Tampa is absolutely going to love him. And Quan is now gone. You only have Levante David over there. I mean, if I were Tampa Bay, unfortunately, I would go Devin White. You need somebody that's going to reestablish the culture of defense over in Tampa. And then last year they go Carlton Davis out of Auburn, and then they go that guy R.J. Stewart or whatever. I'm very, very worried that White to the Bucs is really a possibility. Plus, they just re-signed their 2 tackles, I think, Donovan Smith and Doxson. So why would they go O-line?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, But you know, I mean, we'll see what happens, man. Because really hope.
Yeah, Derek, let's try to figure this out. So I would maybe move back to, like, if the Bengals want Dwayne Haskins, I would maybe move back to number 11. Then we get to take DeAndre Baker. I really like Dalton Risner from Kansas State. I think he's an unbelievable offensive lineman. I would take him at 17. And then you also have Daniel Jones or Drew Lock. You can end up with 3 of those guys, and I wouldn't even mind, because I look at Haskins. I think Haskins is good, but I look at Jones and Lock, and we could get them so much later and still win right this year.
Right. Yeah. And you know, going back to the quarterback thing, like, I love Eli, and I'm okay. You know, I'm okay with him finishing out this year, because you know he did you know do a lot for this organization. And like, I always see your videos, and you always say that you know newer Giants fans, like, they don't appreciate what Eli does. And you know, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, I've bashed on Eli a lot, but you know, I do also respect him, and I can't forget about what he did. You know, like, I just can't, like, you know, 2
You're
rings
a great
against,
person.
like,
I think we all bash on Eli when he's just, like, giving up sacks and he has that rested face on the sideline. And, yeah, he's been really inconsistent and he's been really passive. And it's been some dark times in Giants football. So you absolutely have the right to blame Eli. And Eli couldn't lead Odell. And we've just had a lot of problems. But I'm ready for this franchise, Derek. I'm ready for a 12-4 season this year. I really believe we can do it. We play the AFC East. Let's just start winning close games. Look at what the Bears did last year. Nobody thought the Bears would go 11-5 and win their division. Nobody. And this is our time. We at least got to make a wild card this year. I want to get to 11 or 12 wins. I want to when you get to 12 wins, Derek, you're essentially in the Super Bowl. Because look at the Rams. They won 12 games. They played the Cowboys, who were a really weak offense. They played the Cowboys at home. They got one fortunate call in the Saints game, and then bam, they're in the Super Bowl. Look at the Patriots. They win 12 games. They have one playoff game, and then you have a coin flip in the championship game. In this NFL, the Giants need to win 12 or 13 games this year, and I'm really excited for Eli. This is his last complete year. We know it's his last year, and I know for a fact, Derek, that Dave Gettleman is going to draft a quarterback, because if you listen to Shermer and Gettleman, we are going to be taking a quarterback, and it's either going to probably be Haskins or Josh Rosen. Now, unfortunately, if Devin White is gone, Dwayne Haskins might be the highest guy on our board, and then we're going to take Haskins, and Haskins is going to sit under Eli, and if we can't win these games, Haskins is coming in, Derek.
Yeah. No, yeah, and that's why I'm, like, when I first saw the report saying that Eli was coming back, I was like, you know, okay, fine, I'm cool with that, but
yes,
we have to draft a quarterback, because I'm not, like, if Eli does do, like, horrible, if he starts up the year horrible, we have to have a backup plan.
It's justice. It's justice for Eli. That Cowboys game was not his last overall game, and we're really blessed to see to see Eli have this last opportunity, and Eli better take advantage of it. He better lead the team he wants to. He better get the offense under control, and he better show some real urgency. And Derek, your call was absolutely outstanding. You're a great person, and just keep it up, man. You're doing a heck of a job, and thanks for following my channel, bro. I appreciate you.
Oh, you got it, Rover. Thanks so much.
I appreciate you so much, Derek, and go Giants. Really good Giants fan right there. Let's get to the next caller. The chat is freaking popping. I'm so blessed to have a good chat tonight.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Hello. Welcome on to Rover Sports.
Rover. Yes, Mr. Rover. What I'm calling about is the draft.
Yes, sir.
What I want is that the Giants go for the Tyree Jackson. He's a sleeper. We go for all the linemen and the edge rusher, and we don't take none of those front runners. Tyree's our boy.
You like Tyree Jackson because you love the size and you love the arm strength of the Buffalo product.
Yeah, well, I'll be watching him, and if he go beyond Eli and get little tweaks, he'll be great.
I'm just worried. There's a lot of mechanical issues when I watch the kid throw the ball, and he was good against like lower tier competition, but he's very inaccurate like underneath. Like he'll sail throws that are only 5-yard throws. You know, he barely started, I think, playing football. I think he learned how to play football on YouTube like maybe 4 years ago. So that if you take Tyree Jackson, the good news is you'll take Jackson in round 5 or 6, so you can load up on defense. Then Eli might even have to play 2 more years until the Jackson kid is ready, because I worry Jackson could be like that kid out of Virginia Tech. Remember that big Logan Thomas kid? I'm just worried that the kid's so tall. You really think he's going to be a great NFL quarterback someday?
I just, I just, based on what's going on, he just looked like the right fit for us. That we won't be paying much, and I think we'll do better with just dropping all of those favorites that we have up front. I think it would be a waste. I don't like asking. Mm-hmm. I prefer we go with Jawan Taylor if he's up there.
Oh, out of Florida. Oh, yeah, out of Florida, SEC.
Yes, we get him, and we get maybe 2 corners, and just load up on our rushes.
Let's make a run at it this year, then, huh?
Yeah, just do that. I just don't like the quarterbacks that we're talking about. Haskins, Drew Luck, Ryan Finley may be the best one out of them that I might consider. He's kind of low on the lower end, but I think he's better than the rest.
Yeah, he just doesn't do it so much for me because he's just not mobile. His arm strength doesn't pop off the page to me. He's a nice enough kid. I just kind of look at him, though, more as a backup. I mean, where do you watch a lot of college football? Have you watched a lot of Drew Lock in college, sir?
No, I don't watch Drew. And I heard you last year was kind of talking about Drew Lock.
Yeah.
When we were going through all of that mess that we had. And you predict the Odell, we shipping out there. You actually put it in the air. We'll need to get rid of Odell, and then that would be the drumming of something coming to New York. We might win the championship.
Oh yeah, my friend.
Just say it out. Couple months, maybe 6 months, and maybe it works. Because it seems like you have some voodoo working up there, too.
Oh, my gosh. And if we can win a championship at least before the Browns do, I mean, that would make my world, man.
It would be like
us against the world, We don't need all these people on Twitter, dancing and, the Odell Beckham. We don't need emotion. It's time to get back to power football. You don't win with these big wide receivers making like $19 million. And it's a change because Odell Beckham's been the leader of this team for about 3 or 4 years. It's Eli, it's Victor Cruz's fault because they needed to rein him in earlier in the process. When he was going off with Josh Norman, when he was doing the boat trip, when his sideline antics, when he was leaving the game, Tom Coughlin, nobody confronted Odell. There was no teamwork whatsoever. And the Giants just needed a change. I mean, how horrible was it watching Monday Night Football and seeing the Giants put up like 7 points and just be pathetic? How many pathetic games do you want to sit for? You know what I mean?
Well,
it's been pathetic the last few years.
This is my last thing I'm going to say. I just want you to work your voodoo. Start talking about Tyree Jackson, and we get Tyree and we work on him, and I think we'll do good if we can get Ken
Sounds
Weber.
Like you want me to move to New Orleans and work some voodoo, sir. I wish I had.
No, but I think you're doing well up there where you're at.
Thank you.
So do that for me, and I think we'll be talking.
Well, listen,
good.
I'll keep in mind Tyree Jackson. I mean, I just think he's so much of a project. I just really you take a flyer on him in the 6th round or whatever, maybe, but I don't know if he's ever going to pan out or get the opportunities or the coaching. Man, he should have stayed another year at Buffalo, honed in on the skills. But I'll certainly look out for Tyree Jackson. He is a great kid. I mean, he's working with Jordan Palmer. He's working with Sam Darnold and Josh Allen. Callin, the kid is a great kid, and I wish him all the best. And he can throw the heck out of the ball. He throws it like 60, 70 yards, but it's just going to take him a lot to learn mechanically, to learn about reading the NFL game. It's going to take him like a year or two, trust me, especially that he's coming out this year. So, hey, thank you. What is your name? You want to give your name on here? I got to get to some more callers, man.
Bounty.
Bounty, like the bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Like the bounty.
Yeah, yes, that, yeah.
Oh my. Stay on your good side, Bounty. Appreciate
All right,
you, dog.
good.
Appreciate
I'll
you, my
catch up
friend.
with you again.
Call in anytime, Bounty.
All right, great.
Okay. That was Bounty. The Tyree Jackson love. He wants me to put in some Tyree Jackson. It's funny how much people take into account the videos. I got a number here who's been calling me frequently, and I appreciate that. I got some great callers. Hello, you're on with Rover Sports. Welcome into the show.
Hi, Rover. I'm not a Giants fan, but I'm a fan of you. And this is Anthony Mazzano. I talk to Entertainer all the time.
It's not about choo-choo. I know that there's another Anthony. Are you a Jets fan?
No, I'm a Dolphins fan, actually.
Oh, awesome, Anthony. Yeah, I mean, so you love the Entertainer talking sports?
Yeah, you guys are my two favorite New York sports. I'm a Yankees fan as well, so
right.
And I have a question actually with my Dolphins.
Yeah,
what I want them to do is trade down. What's your opinion on these Wisconsin linemen? Do you think they're worth a first-round pick? Because Fredericks, remember when the Cowboys drafted Fredericks, people said he was a reach. Mm-hmm. Look how successful he is. He's an all-pro basically. So I'm wondering, do you think any of these I would trade down with the Raiders, get an extra third-round or second-round pick, and maybe draft Tyler Biadasz, then draft the two guards, then draft
for the Dolphins at 13. Are you talking about?
No, trade down with the Raiders.
Okay.
No, trade down with a team in the mid-20s, like the Raiders or the Chiefs or something like that.
Right.
Draft Biadasz, then get an extra second-round pick, draft both Dieter and Benshaw, and draft Edwards in the third round, then draft maybe what's your opinion
you want all Wisco then, huh, Anthony?
Yeah, what's your opinion on Thorson? Do you think he's more of a backup, or do you think he can be a starter in the NFL?
Yes, I think Clayton's more of a backup. He kind of has average arm strength. His escapability is okay. I think Jarrett Stidham is actually more of a I think Jarrett Stidham is a guy that more can shock, more can play. You know, Stidham or Will Grier. I think Clayton Thorson's going to be like a fifth-round guy. You know, he doesn't react to pressure all that well. You know, he can throw a decent football, but, yeah. So I'll tell you.
Yeah, like I said, I would rather wait for next year. Mm-hmm. When I was talking to my two favorite guys in the draft next year, I find that Tua's a little bit overrated. My two favorite guys are Fromm and Herbert. The guy from Georgia and the guy.
Well, Anthony, I could say this to you. I look at Tua Tagovailoa, and I think that I really do think that he's light years ahead of Jake Fromm. I think Jake Fromm, he's not going to come out next year, Jake Fromm, and this is you're not like Jake Fromm's family, so I could say this. I just think Jake Fromm is I'm just not high on him at all. I think he's going to be a 6th-round pick in 2 years. I don't even think he's going to go in the top 5 rounds. He can't even make a throw to the outside. Like Will Grier, like Jake Fromm doesn't have the arm talent. He played with Sony Michel and Nick Chubb. He plays in a very watered-down offense. Tua Tagovailoa, big arm, unbelievable pocket awareness, Drew Brees-type anticipation. Tua Tagovailoa is big-time good. I'm telling you. Tagovailoa is going to be a superstar. Justin's a little bit Justin Herbert's like a Trubisky. He'll be a very solid quarterback for the first 5 years of his career. I think Herbert will do absolutely fine.
The backup at Georgia is better than Fromm?
No Fromm at all. You mean Justin Fields?
No, No, the guy who's still
Jacob Eason?
No, Fields transferred. I'm talking. There's two other quarterbacks that were ahead of Fields before he transferred. There was Fromm, and I forgot the other guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not Jacob Eason. It's not Jacob Eason. He went to Washington.
He's at Washington.
Yeah, he went to Washington. They're recruiting a guy from Mississippi that could play quarterback, but no, Fromm is the guy at Georgia. He's a fine college player. He's just going to have to prove to me that he can make down the field throws, and I just don't think he's going to be taken that high.
And do you think Herbert has the arm strength to be a star in the NFL, or do you think he's more? When you look at his tape, who's your comparison for Herbert? Do you think he's more of a like Phillip Rivers or like a Carson Palmer type quarterback?
I don't even think he's like Palmer or like those guys. I think he's a little bit like I know I said Trubisky. He's very, very, very similar to him in Chicago. I'm going to try to think of another quarterback.
How about Newton?
I'm not. No, I know that he's tall, but I know that he's tall. How about a Tony Romo or a Dak Prescott? Somebody in that range.
Yeah, honestly, I think the Tony Romo comparison I kind of agree with, to be honest.
Yeah, because he's very good at improvising. You know, he's very fast. That's the thing. Cam Newton will run you over. Herbert is not strong. Herbert is still thin, you know. He's not like Cam, but
the guy I'm really excited for, I wish was good, where it was able to come out next year, which I doubt the NFL would allow, is Trevor Lawrence. Because he's a star. He has the arm strength, and he has that Tom Brady, Drew Brees personality. He's accurate.
He's also a giant. He's like 6'6". He's a freak. He's thin, and he can throw the ball like 75, 80 yards. I mean,
that's what scares me. What these thin quarterbacks that are like 6'6", but they're like 215 or 220. I'd rather have a quarterback that size be like the size of like Cam Newton, 240, 250, close to that.
Yeah, it sounds like you should like Tyree Jackson, like the caller who just called into our show.
No. Tyree honestly scares me a little bit.
Yes.
I agree with you. His throwing motion has it's too erratic, and I think
way too erratic. I watch him he'll sail 5-yard passes.
Yeah, no, but he would honestly. When NFL teams draft him, I think they're going to move him to tight end or like receiver or something like that. They're not leaving him at
just like Logan, just like Logan Thomas.
Yeah, and like Edelman. When the Patriots drafted Edelman, didn't they move? They knew he wasn't going to stay at quarterback, so they moved him to receiver and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's always interesting, you know, to look at the quarterbacks, and believe it or not, like you guys might even take like Jeffrey Simmons. I think that the roster just needs to be revamped. I don't exactly love the coaching hire of Flores because he's just another Belichick assistant. Like, I don't know if that does it for me, to be honest. Like, I would have wanted like a Chris Richard if I were a Dolphins fan. You know, so I'm worried about this coach. He could be a 1 year. He could be a scapegoat like a Steve Wilkes, honestly, if you guys are tanking. I'm serious. So,
no, honestly, I don't think we're going to tank, honestly.
Okay.
Purposely tank, just because coming from that Bill Belichick thing, I don't think he's going to take tanking well. Because, honestly, Adam Gase was trying to tank on purpose. With Gase, I hate him so much. I didn't understand why the Dolphins hired him.
But at least the Jets hired him, man. I mean, and he couldn't get along with Landry.
Did you see that? Oh, by the way, did you see that the introductory press conference? Didn't he look like he was high on drugs or something like that? Because
oh my gosh,
his eyes were bulging out.
Dude, he looked like he was high on like an 8-ball. He looked like he was snorting cocaine like for the press. His eyeballs are so dilated, it's insane. That's why he wears a hat everywhere.
And do you think he's good? He's gonna be good for
Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold?
I
or
think
do you
he'll
think
be. I think with Greg Williams, Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell's an interesting personality. He needs everybody in the organization to be like on the same level as him. He doesn't really understand like the ownership and the financial aspects, kind of the decision making process. Le'Veon Bell. He doesn't understand.
he's a drama queen like Odell?
the GM? He's. I think Le'Veon Bell's a good guy. He's just a little bit misguided. He has people in his life that just kind of tell him that he's incredible. And I hope Le'Veon Bell does well, but there's a lot of moving parts in New York. I think the thing's going to blow up. I really do. Dude, you have Greg Williams, Adam Gase. Come on. The old general manager, Mike McCagnon. I just don't think so.
They're old school. Honestly, Greg Williams and what's his name? McCagnon come from the old school, like Bill Parcells era.
Right.
I think that's why they're still out of touch, to be honest.
Well, Greg Williams, he's just a personality where you need the organization to rally behind him. And, who knows how the Jets are going. I just don't think they're going to be that good, but we'll see,
Yeah. And like I said before, with Darnold, honestly, he was overrated coming out of college just because he went to USC and stuff like that. And honestly, I see him. He's not a star at all to me. He reminds.
Yeah.
This is going to be horrible, but he reminds me of Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick, the guy that the Dolphins just signed.
Yeah.
He reminds me a little bit of Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, fidgety in the pocket, throws interceptions. Yeah, really fidgety. Can't really make big-time throws, weak arm strength, all of that stuff with Sam Darnold. I don't love Sam's game either, but Anthony, it's been a pleasure talking,
Josh
man.
Allen better.
Anthony, you're the best, and have a great day, my friend. I'm going to get some more callers.
You too.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Great call from my man, Anthony. I don't like the NFL rule changes of pass interference. I don't like it at all because now the games are going to take like 5 hours. The bullshit pass interference is complete bullshit. And pass interference being a spot foul, you could just lob Hail Marys and basically review them now. It's completely awful. But what is going on? You're on with Rover Sports. Thank you for calling into the show.
What's up, Rover? This is Brandon Rogers.
Brandon, yes, you've been trying to call in today, Brandon. How are you, sir?
Yeah, what's up, Rover? I'm on vacation right now, so I made time to call in today, so happy for that.
That's a big deal, man. That's a big honor that I'm taking away time from your friends, family, and your vacation time. Are you in a warm climate?
Yeah, I'm in LA, so it's 70.
That is awesome. How's the trip going?
Good. We leave Saturday, so we got a few more days, and I'm heading to the Dodgers home opener tomorrow, and I'm going to the Padres game on Friday.
Oh, yeah. Pat, go to see Manny.
Yeah.
All righty, Brandon. So what do you want to talk about, man?
I just want to get your overview on all the divisions, NFL divisions in the upcoming season. I just want to get your preview on it, and there's one particular division I want you to talk about, and that's the NFC West, because, my Seahawks are in that division. So, I want to get your take on the West mostly, but, just the divisions.
Yeah, so we have so I look at the NFC West, and I really do think that the 49ers are going to overtake it this year. I know I've been saying that for a couple of years now.
You really think so?
I think the 49ers, if they draft Quinnen Williams or Nick Bosa, their defensive line is salty. Their linebackers now, you have Quan Alexander, D. Ford, and also Fred Warner had a very good rookie year. The outside receivers are Jordan Matthews, George Kittle. Some really good players, and Jimmy G is going to be healthy again. Like, Kyle Shanahan is a beast coach. I love the 49ers to go.
And, they got the good running back duo, too.
Yeah, Tevin Coleman. Exactly. Tevin Coleman. So I look at the 49ers, and I think that the 49ers are going to be ballers next year. The LA Rams, I did like what the LA Rams have done because they got Clay Matthews and Eric Weddle, so they add some veterans.
But they're losing Ndamukong because they're going to let him walk, apparently, according to multiple.
Sue?
Yeah, they're letting Sue go, yeah.
Yeah, they're letting Sue go. John Sullivan is also gone. Andrew Whitworth is going to be gone eventually. Todd Gurley, they paid a lot of money to, and he's dealing with some potential long-term injuries.
Yeah.
Jared Goff is not fantastic. Maybe the Rams will fall, but the Rams have kept proving me wrong the last few years. They still have talent. Sean McVay is still a stud. I still think that they can be 11-5. And then you look at your Seattle Seahawks. Did you keep Brian Schottenheimer or did you let him go?
Yes, we still have him. He's still under contract.
I hated that. Now the good news is, like, against the Vikings in the regular season, you guys ran the ball really effectively. In that Dallas game, you needed to let Russell throw the football.
Yeah, I know. I was getting so mad because they just kept trying to force it. It was like 2nd and 18, I think, and they just ran it. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, that was a very conservative game. Wild card, yes, very.
I'm very worried, though, about Seattle, to be honest with you, man, because you have Russell Wilson.
Really?
Russell's going to be a free agent. You have Pete Carroll's the oldest coach in the NFL. The defense needs to be upgraded. I just look at the safeties and the corners. I want them to be upgraded. And I don't know about Pete Carroll in Seattle. It's like you guys are hanging on. And you guys are not rebuilding. You guys are not rebuilding. But I'm just nervous if you guys can ever get to that point of winning championships. And if you let Russell go and if you let Pete Carroll go, you're going to reboot eventually. I hate to say this, but I just think that, you guys your roster is just not as good as the 49ers or the Rams, to be honest with you.
Well, we have had good success in the divisional, but what the 49ers are doing, like you said, their offense is really, and they got that mastermind Kyle Shanahan over there, like you said. So, you know what I think though? Seattle can get a few playmakers on offense, like maybe pick up C.J. Anderson, help out the running backs, because we get more depth. Because we're not going to. Mike Davis is gone. And so, if we replace him with C.J. Anderson, and then get Chris Carson and C.J. Anderson going, that'd be good. And then we need a wide receiver. And, we got Will Dissly coming back. But,
how about Rashad Penny from San Diego State?
Yeah, Rashad Penny, he broke out in the last few games of the season. That Rams game in L.A., he had a good game there. But, they need to utilize Carson more. I'm not saying they did last year, but in that wild card game, they overused him, and they were just getting tired, and they just didn't let Russell throw. That's what it was really. Because what I actually thought, if I'd rather played the Rams if we would have made to the divisional, because we already played them twice, but
played them
because
close.
And then. If we would have played Saints, that we could play in there since we play in a loud stadium ourselves. So, but that offense over in New Orleans, they just got Latavius Murray, so they're going to be up there in the NFC again this year. But
probably. We'll see what happens. They're getting very old too. In about a year or two, Breeze is going to be out, and Sean Payton, who knows? That thing is going to fall apart in like a year or two.
Sean Payton, he's something else. He's my God. He's such a crybaby over. Still mad over
the pass interference.
Yeah, just like I know he got the rule change.
I liked that he was really pissed off over it, but I hate this new rule change because now the games. Now that we're going to be reviewing more pass interference, I just don't want to review as much. These officials are human beings. They're going to make some shitty calls. These officials are going to screw up, but your team's going to benefit and your team's not going to benefit. And I just want to keep the game moving. And I hate how pass interference in the NFL is a spot foul. It should just be 15 yards, because you reward quarterbacks like Joe Flacco that just lob the ball up for grabs. And then if the defender doesn't see it, the wide receiver can sell that he's been shoved and pushed. And now guys in practice are going to be scheming to try to draw penalties. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, but like you were talking about Joe Flacco, he's playing up in Denver now, so he's just going to be lobbing the ball up even more. And another rule is, another thing about that game is they're going to be reviewing almost every pass interference play because almost every Hail Mary has pass interference. So they're just going to keep moving the game, and it's going to be really slow paced. And it's going to take a while.
Yes.
I don't know. But
absolutely.
I like the rule, but it's just, I don't know, because it makes it more fair, I guess, if you would say.
Right.
But, because it just slows the game up. And, I'd rather have it be slow and precise than fast and what's the word?
Spontaneous.
Yeah. But,
yeah.
It is better for the game in some ways, but, in some it's,
yeah.
it's bad.
Hey, Brandon, I got to get going, though, man. Thanks so much for the phone call.
Yeah.
And just enjoy your trip out there in L.A., my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
No doubt, no doubt. Enjoy it. Alrighty, guys, a little break in the action. We've had some unbelievable phone calls today talking about the NFL and talking about a whole range of different topics. It's been a ton of fun. I see RK Belmont. Bradley Moore is in the chat talking about Alabama. You guys nailed the hire of Nate Oats, tremendous basketball coach from Buffalo. It was by far the best hire you guys could have ever made. It was even better than Steve Chrome. It's even better than Fad Mata. Fad Mata, at the end of his Ohio State run, really struggled. Nate Oats is a grinder. Nate Oats can really be elite, and Nate Oats can be special, and I think he's going to be special at Alabama. So I absolutely love that hire. Welcome into Rover Sports. How are you tonight?
Hello?
Yes, you're on with Rover Sports.
Hey, Rover, how's it going? This is Salvador from California.
What is your name again? I'm sorry.
My name is Salvador.
Salvador.
You can call me Sal.
Yeah. Salvador, is it? You have your last name on there as well on YouTube?
Yeah. I'm in the chat. Yeah.
I've seen it. It's Salvador and then a B last name. Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it going, dude?
Not much, Rover. I just wanted to call in. I watch your show and the videos all the time, so I thought I'd call in.
Oh, thanks a lot. Yeah, what do you want to talk about tonight?
I just wanted. I had a question about the new PI rule.
Yeah.
So, is it reviewable on non-calls and calls that have flags thrown on them? Do you know about that?
Is it reviewable on the non-calls? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yes, it absolutely is. Yes. So if a flag is not thrown, then the team can go and throw the flag and ask, and the booth can review if it was a pass interference, just like the Saints game, when you don't get it.
Yeah. So is it also vice versa, where it was you could say a lot of hand fighting between the two players?
Right.
And is it can they also challenge that?
Yeah, you could get rid of it too. Yeah, you could get rid of it as well. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that's the better part of the rule, right?
I just think that you should just play on, and I don't like how pass interference, like as a spot fell at the goal line. Like I wish it was just a 15-yard penalty, so it wasn't such a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how it is at college. I think it's adjusted.
I love the college rules. And the Saints game was a disaster, but what other pass interferences can you name in the last 10 years that were that big of a deal? What other ones?
But pass interference, that affects every game. And, games are going to be decided a lot more by referees and these damn reviews.
They are, and that's the point. And now everything is going to be like magnified. I think games are going to be so much longer now. I think it's not going to be as enjoyable of a process. I really do. I think the replay is going to, and also they might even get it wrong on the replay, and that even might be more devastating.
That's going to be some backlash right there.
Trust me, there will be.
I also see, it's not going to solve anything, because it's only about one penalty. Holding calls, those affect the games, all the time. So holding calls, just little fouls, they're going to be brought up to the officials.
Everything is going to be reviewed. Everything is going to be reviewed.
Yeah, so this is open a can of worms for for the NFL. You allow something like this, and then it's just going to create a bigger problem in the next couple of years. That's how I see it. There'll be a lot of more reviews, and a lot of more changes in the NFL coming.
Guess what? It's going to be horrible. Yeah, you're right, because now holding is going to be reviewed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like exactly what you said. Holding is going to be reviewed. False starts, roughing the quarterback. I mean, where does this end? It's Pandora's box out here. So
you could also do illegal contact. Throw a flag. That DB was jamming around receiver 8-10 yards down the field, and you guys didn't call it. They're gonna want to throw a flag on that. You know what I'm saying? So.
Absolutely, man. Hey, so you live out in Cali. Are you a fan of the Niners, or who are you a fan of?
Yeah. I'm a 49er fan. So that's actually how I found your channel, because you were talking a lot about Jimmy G in 2017.
The Niner Empire. Me and you listen to Ronbo as well?
Oh, yeah. I'm a big Ronbo supporter. Nothing but Niners. They're another channel.
Ronbo's a complete beast. Complete beast. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's a great channel. He brings he brings a lot of Niner fans worldwide. He brings people from overseas onto the channel, and it's pretty cool that I get to hear fans from out of the country, out of the continent, call in and give their topics or their opinions on the 49ers and the NFL. It's pretty cool to hear, just different people from around the world.
No, it's absolutely sweet, Salvador. It's absolutely sweet.
Right.
So,
thinking what you're doing too, you're giving the Niner Empire a lot of more topics or a lot more videos to look at in the offseason and during the year. So
yeah, I got to talk more Niners. I mean, so in the first round, would you go Josh Allen, or do you want to go or not Josh Allen? Do you want to go Quinnen Williams? Do you want to go Josh Allen, or do you want to go Bosa? Who do you want to go at number 2 if the Cardinals take Kyler Murray?
Usually, I'm more of a defensive guy, secondary guy. I like building my teams. For the past couple of years, I wanted the best safeties every year. 2017, I wanted Hooker, Adams. Last year I wanted James and Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
But this year, it's kind of flooded with pass rushers. So, I don't mind anybody up top, because I know any of those 3 guys, make a big difference to this already loaded front 7 on paper, you know what I'm saying?
And there's no incredible safety. Yeah, last year, I mean, if you guys got Derwin James last year, you probably would have been pretty salty, and then you could have used and then you would have taken maybe a pass rusher. Then you maybe would have paid. You would have been able
Trent
to draft.
Brown.
Yeah, exactly. You would have been able to get Trent Brown, or you would have been able to get in the second round. You could get a tackle. In the second round, a high pick in the second round. You could still do that this year. Well, I don't know if you guys are going to do that. And then safety-wise, I would go second round and pick a good safety in the second round. That's what I would do.
Yes. Yeah, second round, I'm a fan of the Nazir Adderley.
Oh, yeah, from Delaware.
Safety.
Yeah, from Delaware. Deontay Thompson from
he's
Bama.
cool. Yeah, I saw a lot of games on him where he kind of struggled tackling, coming downfield. So I'm kind of iffy on that guy.
On the
Thompson.
Clemson guy? You mean in the Clemson game?
No, on the Alabama.
Yeah.
Maybe the Clemson game was struggling coming downfield, but that's just one game. I didn't watch every game.
Or it could be Jonathan Abrams too from Mississippi State's a hard hitter too.
Yeah, he's another bully in the secondary. He's pretty cool.
No, there's a lot of good there's some good secondary members, and I cannot wait for the NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I'll keep doing Niner content. I mean, yeah, the Niners fans are just they're all very they're all very supportive. Giants fans are a little more individualistic. Giants fans will rip you in half, for a lot of the opinions that you have, man. Giants fans are really rough people, really, really rough online. And the Niner Empire is just all very friendly towards my channel and stuff. And I love the vision. I love Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, everybody's sleeping on Jimmy Garoppolo. The Niners are not being talked about that much. I know, like, Colin Cowherd likes the Niners, but I told you, I think that the Niners can get 12 or 13 wins. I want to get a bye, and I want the Niners to be hosting a playoff game in the divisional round. I really think it's possible.
Yeah.
I really think it's possible.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous of, well, not jealous, but, I see the Rams, and I know that could have been my team because it's the exact same team. And, they just stay healthy, and they keep their starting on the field all the time because, they kept the quarterback, they kept the running back healthy. And, that's just the problem that the 49ers had these past couple 2 years. They haven't had a chance to keep their guys on the field. But, if they are on the field, and I pray to God they are this year, and I think we could be that type of offense, dynamic, Kyle Shanahan drawing our plays. He's a beast, and I like the direction that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have got this team going. So I know year 3 is going to be big for my franchise, and good luck to the Giants. But
Thank you.
I want it to go all the way.
Yeah, I think that the Giants hopefully will be okay. Hopefully we'll make the playoffs, 11, 12 wins. I'm still confident in the group. And but the 49ers, I'm going to be doing a lot of film reviews on plays that I like. And I'll be talking about the Niners a lot. And I was here, with yourself, when the Niners were not anything. I was there through the C.J. Beathard kind of era and all that kind of crap that was going on, or Brian Hoyer. So that was like 3 years ago that we go back now. So Salvador, thanks so much, man. I love talking to you, like in the chats with the other YouTubers, and I want to thank you for the call.
So thank you, Robert. And one more thing, if you're gonna do a film review on the Niners, I have a request from you. Can you look up some Jerick McKinnon tape from the Vikings, 2017, and because the Empire, they kind of split on him. They don't really see the value.
Well, because I think he's getting older, and I think that you have Matt Breida, so I don't think you can keep all 3 guys.
I mean, we can't really keep those guys forever. But I think Jerick McKinnon, he's a very solid.
Yeah, I just don't know how he's going to recover now. I mean, Jerick McKinnon, though, he might be like 30 years old, and for a running back, that's just really, really old. So
we'll see. That's my guy. So.
Yeah. You're a McKinnon guy. All righty, Salvador. Thanks so much, my friend. Take care. All right, take care. Great calls all night long. I'm going to do a couple more calls. The AAF is dying. The XFL. Now, if the XFL can get like Trevor Lawrence, if the XFL can get Trevor Lawrence and can get some of these guys, I might just do a whole video dedicated more towards the AAF and towards the XFL. It might be a fun video to make, but this has been a really fun call-in show, Steven. Yeah, I agree. Steven Pazienza, one of my favorite guys. I'm really excited for this Giants season. It was a great call-in show. I'm not exactly the biggest McKinnon guy either. I think Breida is just absolutely fine. And Brandon, dude, it was a lot of fun tonight. I might just shut it down right now because we got some. We got some amazing callers tonight, and it was a pleasure doing the show tonight. It really was. So hold on one second. And so tonight was really fun. Going to talk a little bit about the AAF dying on one of my videos, and going to talk about like the XFL, what they could do to really make that league very, very successful. I'll talk about Nate Oats. I'll talk all about the pass interference stuff. But we had a really fun call-in show. We talked a lot about the Giants, some quarterback questions, and had some really good callers. So with that, guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. And God bless, and everybody have yourselves a good old-fashioned good week. So thank you, guys. Take care. All right. Bye-bye.